you met me at Best Buy and I was a new consumer and, guy looking at PC. What's the 2-minute pitch? What would you show him on the media center and say, hey, check this out instead of buying that, box you were looking at?
Well, typically, if I run into a consumer, and I've actually done this, it's kind of funny, over Christmas time, I was...
Customer, sorry.
I
hate the word consumer.
I was...
Because this is really a two-way media, isn't it? You can put your own content in there and share it with other people.
I was in, I think it was Best Buy, and kicking around looking for an Xbox game and saw somebody playing with a media center, and I can't help myself. And I said, so do you want to know what this thing does? And he goes, yeah. So first thing I did is grab the remote, because typically, they may be in a desktop mode, and what I want to show them is I grab the remote, I stand away from it, I hit the green button, and I go into...
Right, now what's this green button?
So the green button is the button that brings up the media center interface. So that takes it from a traditional desktop mode to this mode.
Got it.
So I grabbed it.
If you hit it again, does it go back to the desktop mode? Or?
It doesn't go back to the desktop mode, but if you want to,
you shut it down.
I can either do that, or I can grab... Or I can grab the mouse and go ahead and I can resize it. So if I wanted to, we can do it like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So the first thing I do...
Now, my TiVo doesn't do that.
So if Charlie will let go of the mouse.
Briefly, the nice thing about this is that it's shades of Longhorn, right?
Yeah.
Longhorn automatically resizes in Windows and stuff like that. It's really precursor to what the kind of apps and services that everybody will be writing in the Longhorn time frame with the UI and the fancy UI.
So what I do is, the 2-minute thing is basically I do the first thing is I grab some music, I start playing some music, and I say, that's great, now let's do something else.
Let me just adjust this. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay.
What are you doing there?
Now I go.
Ask that question. Check the box.
Check the box.
Did you guys do Bill Gates demos too? He can figure it out either.
Yeah, the great part about it is that we're all about blue screen.
Oh man! All right, that's a good one because that would be one of my objections, right? You got a PC here, isn't it going to crash? Isn't going to get viruses?
So I mean that's core work we've been doing, and we recognize that as one of the key things about what we're doing in the home is the consumer expects the product to stay up, keep going, keep running. So a lot of the work has gone into what you don't see in the display, but what you see underneath, what is underneath the covers. So how much uptime is it? So we have to work with the OEMs about how much uptime there is to the product. How does it keep working? How does it reboot itself when there's an error detected? And some of that is just core Windows. Now if something crashes in Windows, the entire Windows doesn't go down. That application goes down and comes back and recovers. We've done things like, for example, you can be recording a television show. You don't even have to be in the media center display, and it can be recording a TV show in the background. So you can be doing Word, Excel, chatting with your friends. It doesn't really matter, and it can be recording in the background. So trying to build stability into the product has also been a key aspect of what this team's been focused on. Stuff you don't see in the display, but we hope you never have to see.
Right.
So one of the things I was doing the 5
You want to do the elevator pitch, or let me do the elevator pitch because you couldn't seem to run it. So let me give you my elevator pitch. Let me give my elevator pitch, and then you give yours.
All right.
My elevator pitch is
this is going to be another problem. Is at home my wife wants the remote, and I want the remote. We fight over the no, we're not watching West Wing tonight. We're going to watch Desperate Housewives.
One of the important pieces that
so he's still not going to let me do it.
I want the camera. It's all about me. One of the important things that I kept slipping into is that this version of Media Center now asks me if I wanted to go add music or if I wanted to go add pictures. So in previous versions, that's been the complaint is because it looks at specific folders, well, how do I go find the music because I put it in a different place, or how do I go find my pictures because I've segmented them out? What we've added now is the ability to go search through your hard drive or even search the other machines on your network for content. So now you can go say, this is where I keep my pictures, or this is where I go keep my music. So it's
So if I have 8,000, maybe 800 pictures from my digital camera, right? I just put that in my pictures folder and it'll automatically show up.
sure, it automatically shows up.
Give me the remote back.
No. So here's kind of the elevator pitch, right? The 2-minute pitch. I talk about my mother-in-law in Loving Media Center. For example,
not loving his mother-in-law.
She might watch this, but
we can go into My Music.
All right, let's go back. Go back there. Yeah.
So we can.
So this is the home screen, and when you start out Media
This
Center,
is the start
where
menu.
Okay.
What I tell people is, if you want a digital video recorder, buy a digital video recorder.
Yeah.
If you want to experience your entertainment in new and interesting ways, buy a Media Center. For example, we've got my TV, full digital video recorder, full guide, all that, be able to record TV. But we've also got other features such as My Music. So I can go into My Music, select, Speaking Out, and we're going to play this particular album. I'm going to go back to the start menu and now go into My Pictures, go into pictures of my daughters here, and select the slideshow. And now I'm listening to the jazz, I'm watching pictures of my daughters go by. I can go by and I can change that slideshow, I can go back, I can go forward. And the nice thing about it here is I can go, hey, wait a minute, this picture isn't rotating. So I can go in here and I can actually select and rotate the picture.
Oh, that's nice.
That's just it. You do it on the fly.
Play slideshow, it saves that picture and it goes back into my slideshow, and now that picture is correct.
Got it.
So that's kind of my 2-minute pitch. If you want to experience just the digital video recorder, you can buy standalone devices that do that. If you want to do more with your media, do mix and match your services, Media Center provides the most powerful way to do that.
Okay.
Plus, third parties can plug into this. So people such as Kodak.
I was going to say, but wait, there's more. So, we want to go back. We've been playing music. Now, it happens to be the music that Charlie has on his system, and let's face it, right now he doesn't have that exciting music. So one of the things we talk about is plugging more companies into there. So in this case, we've just added MSN Music real quick, but this can be Napster, it can be Live 365, it can be any of these services that are plugged in here. So now we have a direct link to a service that is a third-party service. And we call, one of the companies we work with, so MSN Music, for example. So right in the music area, you can go into those services. Now, the way it got there was the consumer, the customer, said, yeah, I want to add that to my media center.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily something Microsoft decides. It may not even be something that the OEM decides. It is based on a consumer decision.
Right.
So we popped from Charlie's Music.
How do you find out about cool things on the Media Center? You talked about the green button, right?
Right.
That's our website.
So you green button, but there's also built into Media Center, there's something called Online Spotlight, which is just an area where it's promoting the cool new services that work for Media Center. So Online Spotlight is a service, it's just a discovery portal. You'll notice there's a bunch of cool things like MovieLink or Cinema Now or Napster, XM Radio. So recently XM Radio added a site. This is the internet-based service of XM Radio.
Really?
Yeah.
So I get all the XM and radio?
All the
do
XM
I have to have a tuner or anything? Or?
No, this is all their internet, based off their internet service.
Oh, wow.
So it's a subscription-based service, but then you get, I don't know, 100,
So
what is it?
Is
180.
Howard Stern on XM or is he
He's on Sirius.
He's on Sirius. Thank you.
So you don't get Howard Stern.
No.
But for some of us, that's a good thing. All depends on your opinion of it.
The nice thing about XM, for example, is they built upon those web technologies. So it's a stream of their live sites. So you can go from in your car to your home or in your car to your office and listen to XM radio using the remote control, browse all the content, and it's a seamless transition.
Okay.
So it's a really great, that plus their handheld device really makes it so that you can take your XM anywhere you want to go.
That's great.
So here's a perfect example. So we went into MSN Music. I'm still listening to Charlie's Jazz, but maybe I want to listen to this other thing called New Age Essentials.
Right.
So once we start listening to that kind of music, then we can go back and we can do a slideshow listening to internet music while looking at pictures of Charlie's hits.
Right. Cool. And where's the music?
It hadn't started yet.
It hasn't started yet. We call it a slow internet connection today.
Ah.
So whether it's music, the same thing can happen in pictures. So a service can be added in here, say Kodak photo sharing service, or the HP in the HP boxes they have an image service. So other companies can add services in here, and they're integrated. So some of it could be your content, some of it content out on the web.
Okay. So let's see. We've done music. We've done pictures. Do you have now? You talked about dual tuners, so I can actually record one show while watching another live.
Right.
I think we can show that on this box, actually, if you wanted to.
So what we have is the capability of supporting multiple tuners.
Okay.
Not
all hardware has multiple tuners.
Not all hardware has multiple tuners. Again, it's a user order selectable feature.
Okay.
So you can have 2 analog tuners, and what it is you could plug it into a cable box or a satellite box, and you could record one. Now, obviously, if you have cable box, you need 2 cable boxes because they will be doing the decrypting of the security of the security on the cable. But you could watch one live feed while recording a different live feed. Or if you had an extender hooked up to that, you could be watching a live feed in the den, and somebody else could be watching a different live feed in the living room on a completely different box.
Got it.
You can also get a system that also supports high definition off the air. Well, it's called ATSC. So you could conceivably have a media center with 3 tuners, 2 analog tuners, and a high definition television off the air tuner.
Interesting.
So here's an example of, I'm actually recording I Love the 80s. And I can go up here and say, oh, I also want to listen or watch Sliders. So I'm going to hit, and now I'm recording both Sliders and I Love the 80s. The nice thing about this is, for example, if I want to go in and say, I want to record all episodes of I Love the 80s. So now we're recording both of those.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm not sure I do, but anyway, or I can choose not to. I've just recorded a little bit of recorded TV, so I'm going to go up here now and record Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Now let's go back. If we look at my TV now, I can look at recorded TV. So I'm recording Star Trek Deep Space Nine Sliders, and I've already recorded I Love the 80s.
Right.
I'm going to go into I Love the 80s, and I'm going to play it. So now I'm recording 2 live shows while watching a 3rd recorded TV show.
Got it.
You've got all of a minute of this.
Just a total minute, but
Yeah.
you saw how easy and quick it was to actually schedule those things.
That's freaking me out.
It's freaking out. And the nice thing is we have an API called Click to Record that allows third parties. I could literally send you an email saying, hey, Robert, I found this really cool show. You should record it. And I can include an XML document inside of that email that you can double-click and automatically schedule that recording for just that one show or the entire series. That is available from Managed Code add-ins inside of Media Center. We haven't really touched on that at all, but we have Managed Code add-ins that you can have ones that run all the time in Media Center or ones that people just run once when they select it. That API is available from Managed Code. It's available from HTML, so you can create your own page of, like RSS. My favorite TV shows that somebody can go in and say, I want to record that. I want to watch what Scoble's watching. And that Click to Record API allows us to schedule that recording and get information back to find out if there were conflicts, if there was an ability, found out, wait a minute, you've already got both tuners. Would you like to not record this show and instead watch what Scoble's watching? Yeah. So pretty cool stuff.
Oh, it just keeps going.
Fighting over the green remote.
Yeah.
Give me this remote! I want it! No children were harmed in making of this.
And we actually can share. We've learned to share. Another thing that's
fun.
That's a new Microsoft program, right? Oh, now we're gonna fight.
Mine.
That would be dangerous at home.
That's a funny story. The other night, my wife was sitting with our 2 small kids upstairs, and they were watching a show. And so unbeknownst to them, I grabbed one of the other remotes because we have lots of these sitting around. And I was on our stairwell rewinding it, and they just kept picking up the remote. She'd hit play, and then I'd stop, and 15 seconds later I'd pause it, and she said, Charlie, it's doing it again! So it was really funny. Yeah, dueling remotes can really be bad.
So another thing that I just think is fantastic is there's a movies button in the Media Center now, and if anybody's ever played the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game, this is your friend. So what the movies portal is it shows you, it looks at the EPG and shows you what movies are
you did jargon there. EPG is
electronic programming guide.
Okay. I'm going, what?
TV guide. TV guide.
All right. Gotta get all the jargon down, yeah?
Yeah, looks at the TV guide and
Okay.
says what movies are currently on in the next 2 hours
All
or
right.
in the next 4 hours. And then populates the screen like this. So it says there's 3 movies on, Scooby-Doo, Daniel Defoe, and The Big Heart. Well, I actually don't know what The Big Heart is, but it looks pretty cool. So
Especially
now,
if it's the big heat.
oh, I'm sorry, because that's The Big Heat. The Big Heart's probably cool too. So this is now the ability to dig in and find out more about this movie. So maybe I want to dig into the cast, Big Heat, and I find out that Fred Slang is the director, Glenn Ford. So maybe I want to go dig into Glenn Ford. Now I'm going to see all the movies. There's 115 movies that Glenn Ford has been associated with.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't know that, did you?
Well,
Learn something new every day. So now I want to go look at another movie, say like Midway, and it's not on right now, but I could set a recording anytime in the future. So if it ever shows up on my cable, I'll record it. We're also working with companies so that Movie Link, Cinema Now, or any other company can integrate into here. So maybe it isn't going to be on television, but maybe one of those online services offers it. You want to go rent it right now from one of them.
right.
So for us, it's exciting because, again, we're mixing and matching. Where do you get your content from?
Now, what's the portable media center? You don't have one here, right?
In fact, we did.
We do.
You did?
We do. We have all the toys.
Uh-oh.
We are the toy shop. So the Portable Media Center is based on Windows CE, for those geeks at home. It is designed to be a device where you can take all your content on the go with you. And when I mean all your content, I am not kidding. So it has the ability to sync up with your media center or just a regular Windows XP machine. And you can put your music, your pictures, your videos, your recorded television shows on this device.
Wow.
So in the Media Center interface, we actually have, from the 10-foot, you can just use your remote control and sync to the device. You can take that on the plane with you. You can also, it has a video adapter. You can plug this into your television. So Charlie can come over to your house, have a bunch of recorded shows on there, plug it into your television, you get a movie night. Or Charlie uses it for...
Oh man, my kids love this. So we're from Charlotte, North Carolina, and we had to fly across country for the holidays, and we took the portable media center with us, and my kids put it on the tray, and both of them had headphones, and they watched. You can tell that this is the one that I've been using by the selection of the shows. So we have Sesame Street, Caillou, Barney and Friends, and this was a great way for my kids to enjoy the content that we recorded on our Media Center PC, and we took it with us. So great for travel, great.
Now, how hard is it? Let's say I record 20 hours of shows here. How do I, when I plug this in, how long does it take to get the video from my Media Center into the device?
It can sometimes take a while because it actually goes through transcoding. It actually downsamples the video to fit on this device. You can get a lot of video, and it's not designed to be displayed on HD TVs. It's designed to be displayed on this small 3.5-inch screen. But we've got built-in.
How much is this little toy?
I think this is $4.99. Yeah, I mean, so iRiver, Samsung, Creative all make versions of
So
this.
instead of buying a photo iPod that only does photos, we should,
Absolutely. I mean, this is fantastic.
Great. Come with white headphones, though.
You can get white headphones with it.
That's my little Steve Jobs inside joke.
I mean, one of the things I think people should find shocking out of there is that if you pick up this UI is very similar to the Media Center UI, which means common navigation, a green button that goes and brings up this interface. So if you're used to using one product, this product is very easy to pick up and start using.
Right.
I know that's shocking to a lot of people that we actually had coordination amongst products.
Ooh, that required what, 200 meetings?
Or just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Accidents will happen.
Yeah. A lot of Outlook work was done to make that happen, right?
And the great thing is that it's my music collection.
And how much video fits on one of these?
You can get up to, I believe it's
It's a 40 gig drive.
I think it's 80 hours. I think you can get, if you did nothing else but video, you could do up to 80 hours.
Yeah, this is a 20 gig drive.
Plenty. Going cross country is 5
Right,
hours.
and I know, like iRiver, I think makes a slightly large capacity. They also make one with removable batteries. So if you're doing long transatlantic flights, you just pop in another battery. So it's very versatile.
Now, does this hook up to the internet? In other words, can I, if I go to Germany for 10 days and my media center at home is recording stuff?
These don't hook up. They need a docking. It's just like a pocket PC. Well, some of the older pocket PCs where it needed to sync with a PC. But you could have a sync with your laptop, for example. So you could also use your laptop, connect out to various services. So I know the Portable Media Center team is working with a lot of service providers. So for example, if you go to Cinema Now, they have content specifically geared for this device.
Right.
But they still use a PC or laptop to go ahead and sync with the device.
Okay. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else cool to show me? We could talk all day long about this.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the sync to device, we built a sync to device specific into Media Center. So whether it's portable Media Center or just an audio player, you can go ahead and select different things and say sync to device. So you can just be sitting there, create a playlist, create a set, have a set of photos. Depending on what the device is, it'll just sync to it.
Start syncing, go off, watch live TV, or go to bed at night, and all that stuff happens at 10 foot. You wake up next morning, you pick it up, and you go, and you got all your great content.
Wow.
So
what else is cool that we haven't seen?
Well, I think, let's go look at some of the other services, because we showed briefly MSN Music, but there's a lot of great stuff. I think users out there would be shocked to find out that we have AOL on this product. We also have Yahoo. Yahoo just announced a set of video services that are plugging into Media Center as well. So it's not just the MSN stuff, but it's all the stuff, whether you like it from Yahoo or AOL.
Right.
So
now the search engines are starting to do video searches. Are you going to hook into like the Google video search or the Yahoo video search or the MSN video search?
The neat thing is either if Google wants to do it, they can, or if somebody wants to grab, if Google's got an SDK and a way to integrate, they could do it tomorrow. You'll see that over time. Right now, we've got video services from Reuters, MSN TV, AOL's got music videos. Yahoo has a comprehensive video service as well. So you're seeing the MSN videos, which is through MSN TV. You're seeing Yahoo's video services. So it's just, and they can grow that as they want to. Really, our model with most companies is start with a specific set of features and then just add to it as you want to. The business model is theirs.
Right.
So some cases you have subscription models, some cases you have advertising models. Microsoft doesn't get, and our team doesn't get in the middle of the subscription. It's really the consumers. For example, if you already have a subscription with Cinema Now, it just works in this environment. You just enter your username and password.
Now, how about, since I'm using a little cheap camcorder here, and I imagine a lot of families have camcorders, is there any way to share, my camcorder videos with my friends and family around the world, or?
So there have been a couple of services.
Obviously, BitTorrent still runs underneath, right?
Well, any service. There have been a couple. So or like I talked about, which is the ability for people to access content. There's a photo sharing service integrated in there right now, which is Kodak.
Okay.
And if they wanted to build the video sharing service, they could do the same thing.
Right.
It's really just an access to the directories and being able to share it up online.
We were talking about the other day about having some sort of video blogging or podcasting, and pretty much all the technology is built into Windows. You could use bits, the background intelligent transfer service, to use up that spare bits of bandwidth to get your podcast down or get your video blogging. And with the Windows Media Technologies, I can't brag enough about AOL. I mean, the quality is just almost as good as a broadcast TV. Wow. I don't think this LCD, but you can see that this is a 700K stream, and very little macro blocking, for those techie people that might be watching or listening. But it rivals that. In fact, my wife could not tell the difference between this broadcast on AOL, which is a stream, and regular TV on some of the lower channels. Yeah. Non-digital channels.
We have Channel 9 has a lot of Media Center users who watch Channel 9 on their Media Center.
Yeah.
And we
when is Channel 9 going to build a 10-foot site?
I don't know. we encoded 300 kilobits per second, which is blockier than this.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is you can get a NewsGator and get all the Channel 9 videos.
Yeah.
That's how I consume Channel 9 videos, is through NewsGator.
Yeah.
So, we've got, a couple of different services. So that was AOL. We go and look at, like, Reuters, for example.
Reuters has a great feature that, oddly enough, and you never know what you're going to get. It's just weird. I mean, they've got a book out that's called Oddly Enough, and they've got an offering. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Get the inside edge.
Neat thing about Reuters is it's unfiltered. You don't really have a talking head or somebody telling you what that means. They're just raw, uncensored.
Now, I imagine during news events like a tsunami or 9/11 that a lot of video went through these networks.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably have watched all the different tsunami videos.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the tsunami stuff, a lot of the Iraqi elections, they had raw footage of news thing that they put up. That somebody
And they only do about 300 kilobit per second video because they were encoding for the web.
Yeah.
So our recommendation when they were building a site out was don't go full screen because it won't look that good. So they do about 3/4, half screen video and surround it with a ticker for more data, small news blip for the story, and that works.
Did that come up?
We have a slow internet day.
Yeah.
Not even
Too many employees here surfing the web, huh?
I don't know what's going on today, but there are a lot of people surfing the web. So it's variable. I mean, some company, if they feel like, well, gosh, I'm not ready for prime time television, that's fine. I mean, maybe it's interesting stuff. News clips typically are lower bit rate because people aren't looking for high fidelity entertainment. They're looking for news.
Is that how Bill gets you to do your work, by the way? Does he throttle down your video so you can't sit here watching video all day?
Well, the neat thing,
I think the television works really well.
working for this group is really cool because all of us have television feeds in our office, and we're able to actually play with the product a good bit. I mean, one of the first things I do when I come in is I'll check my email in work, but I'll also bring up the news and see what's going on in the world, and I'll actually use Media Center, or if I want to listen to music, instead of bumping up Windows Media Player.
All right, that was a pitch for hiring.
We're always looking for.
I know, everybody's looking for people, right?
Looking for great people, but instead of using the traditional Microsoft products, I'm using this here in my office.
Right.
And it permeates my life. I mean, my entire family's accepted and bought in. You talked about the wife acceptance factor.
Yeah.
My wife has complained about it a couple of times, but when I've been rebuilding, because we dog food, we use Media Center and its beta versions at home, when that doesn't work, my wife gets frustrated because she's not able to record something or listen to her music in the house. So once you actually get it in, the wife acceptance goes up, and boy, it's really bad when you pull it out.
Yeah.
But it's a great perk of working here. You get all great content and everything like that. Go to Oddly Enough.
You probably did some cool boxes too. Huh?
Yeah, we can do that.
We don't. Yeah, I know. We have.
I don't know if we can even show that.
Do you have a room here, by the way, that shows a variety of the different box types?
No, but we should.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them scattered around. So this is,
they're all packed away.
This is an example of some of the video you get off of Reuters. Not highest bit rate quality, but it's great little news stories. You see the ticker at the bottom.
It's real time.
It's real time.
As soon as it goes up on a Reuters server, you start seeing it here.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I mean, we also have things like NPR. So a lot of people are fans of NPR. Yeah. You go, well, gosh, that's not a video property. But, I don't know how many times I've come to work, and because I've missed all, morning edition or whatever, I go ahead, I go into NPR, and I can go listen to the different stories. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we do get a lot of cool boxes around here.
You guys all were at the CES show. Probably.
Oh yeah.
So
So I don't know if you or any of your viewers were at the CES show, but we had a section CES show where we were showing off a lot of the new platforms that are all certified by ISF, which is an independent video certification forum. Mm-hmm. And the reason that they're being certified is for minimum bar or highest quality video. So no longer those days of crappy video out of a TV, out of a PC. These things have premium, high quality video, and they're all different shapes and sizes. I mean, you can buy some boxes that are super pricey, but have like a 1 terabyte RAID storage for all your recorded TV shows. Right. So pretty amazing stuff. So here's NPR. You can go look at all the different shows, Fresh Air, and it's the ability just to grab what you want when you want it.
Now, when I record, let's say I record ABC's Extreme Home Makeover show on this, right? We
did you play it interactive?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
Extreme Home Makeover for this last 7 episodes has been enabled for Media Center. So you're able to watch the show. While you're watching the show, you're able to answer quiz questions on the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely. So
Is there prizes, contest kind of thing?
they run this is part of ABC Television's interactive program, and they do it for Alias and a number of other shows. And you build up points, and it's a prestige thing. You can see the leaderboard and things like that.
Okay.
But where people used to kid about interactive television, it's actually an example of interactive television.
Right.
We've done 2 projects with them now. We did one for Celebrity Mole, where you could vote on who you thought the mole was, and then for Extreme Home Makeover. So we're seeing different aspects of integration with TV as well.
Now, if I record that, it's what, a WMV file on my hard drive?
It's actually something called a DVR-MS file.
Okay.
And there are specifications up on MSDN. In fact, you can go to Green's button. It's just a file format that is actually an MPEG-2 file.
Okay.
With header information about what the file is. The reason it's MPEG-2 is because it's all encoded in silicon. And so, when I talked about that background recording process, if you actually look at the CPU usage while you're recording a show, it's relatively low. If you did that only in software, you'd have to dedicate a lot of CPU power to doing that.
For my Channel 9, I have a dual Pentium kind of machine.
You like 10%, I think I've seen.
Max.
It's max for recording a TV show. So as we see, I mean, this is something we're seeing more and more of as the DMD team, Windows Media team, works more and more with silicon vendors. You'll see more encoding. There's
Right.
certainly decoding in silicon.
Now, I can't move that file to my tablet PC and play it.
Absolutely, you can.
Well, I can.
Sure. Those files,
Sure.
those file formats are transportable.
Okay.
The only time it won't play on another device is if it's encrypted, and that's decided by the content provider.
And how much content on TV is encrypted?
Relatively low.
Really?
But recently HBO did turn on their copy protection.
Okay.
So for certain parts of HBO content, you can't take that file and move it around. And that's entirely up to the different content owners.
Oh.
All we're doing is supporting the specifications that the industry has. But a DVR-MS file, you can actually put it on your laptop and play it on the plane.
Another question. My wife loves our TiVos because she can fast forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we won't go into why you fast forward. Can you skip ahead 30 seconds, or can you just?
It's got a skip button as well as a fast forward button.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go, we'll go in and look at some of the recorded television.
So,
Yeah, we're just seeing how you can fast forward and
So if I want to, I can skip at different rates, or I can do the skip ahead. I believe it's 29 seconds.
okay.
Or I can do 7 seconds back, so the instant replay button. So as long as you've been watching the show for a while, we have a buffer built up that you can skip backwards. So it's the instant replay button.
We all used that during the Super Bowl last year for some reason.
Exactly.
Did we just see what we just saw?
Exactly.
Pardon me? Excuse me?
The wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
So
The most famous 7 seconds of TV, right?
right, and the nice part is that the transport controls, the play, start, pause, whether I'm watching a DVD, playing my home videos, watching recorded television is all the same thing.
Okay.
So again, the value proposition here is if you like doing more than one thing, it's the power of being able to do it from one single remote
Right.
and have a consistent interface. I don't know what you view your pictures with and listen to your music and watch videos with, but I guarantee most people are using different programs to do that.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's not always that easy to navigate. So the function and the goal of this is to make it mass market.
Yep. So you're showing me that you can play.
Yeah, I got to install it in MPEG-2 decoder.
Uh,
It's a pain, but once you get it installed, I'll show it to you.
So-
Where do you get an MPEG-2 encoder?
Most of them will come from the OEMs when you get the PC, but NVIDIA,
Cyberlink,
Intervideo,
Intervideo.
and Cyberlink. There's several that actually
Bunch
make
of
one
different
that's
companies.
fully compatible with Media Center, and it's really not a special variant of it. It's
Yeah,
just
so Windows
okay.
Media Player will, if you try to play one of these files and it doesn't have it, Windows Media Player will say, I don't have that, can I go get it?
Right.
So it's relatively straightforward.
Since we have only a couple minutes left, any other secrets? Anything that, if you had an MVP from...
Well, I mean,
What would you be telling the MVPs, the hardcore?
certainly the information about DVR-MS is up there. They're built into Media Center now. You can record to DVD, so you can also record your shows to a DVD take it to a DVD player and watch it on a regular DVD player.
Oh, that's
So you have the ability to do that with your product. You know,
so probably, when you're buying a media center, then you probably should think about getting a DVD burner, right?
yeah,
DVD,
and
a DVD-R.
that's certainly an option that a lot of OEMs put in there. So again, the cost is variable depending on what kind of features you care about, depending on what you load this thing out with. I mean, I tell all the MVPs, I encourage people to check out the community sites like Press the Green Button or XPMCE, because they have a lot of tips and tricks. They have a lot of different plugins and useful things out there that enhance the media center experience.
Right. Well, this is really cool. So there you're playing your video. And that's on a standard tablet PC?
It's a tablet PC.
Thanks.
It's a recorded TV. You can take it full screen.
Wow. Okay, that sold me. That alone sold me, because I want to take Wesleyan. I'm on the plane every 2 weeks, and I have my tablet PC
Yep,
with me.
there you go.
Very cool. Well, thanks for spending an hour with me. And
Hey, thanks very
showing me
much.
the
It's
world
been a lot of fun.
The world of Media Center. So
And you see, he usually like this.
he got a little less,
But it's
scripted as the hour went along.
It's sad but true. I am like this.
Well, thanks a lot.
Sure, thanks.
Thanks.